Looking forward to talking about tonight, because I think a lot of people have this misconception of what it means to be an artist in Hollywood, right? And most of this comes from people that aren't in entertainment, but all they see is the very small percentage of what it takes to be an artist is on screen, right? Or the work that you do. You know, being between the time of space between action and cut is tiny in comparison to the prior work that goes into getting to that point, right? So let me just jump in. My first question is, what is the business of acting? Brianna, let's start with you. What is the business of acting?
Well, it depends on what genre, if it's commercial or theatrical. And theatrical is way deeper, and it's character work, and it's studying, and it's a lot more work.
Mm-hmm. We all have that dream, like acting is just one thing. We see it on screen, or we see it on a TV series, and it's either theatrical or commercial, like you were saying. And it either digs really deep in your emotions, or it's just the happy-go-lucky. The business of acting is truly getting into your craft and really working hard.
I think the business of acting is like 95% auditions and no's and rejections. And then like 5% is like on set doing the work. This business is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So like, sister, like work up your endurance. And that was so valuable because that was so true. And I think that's entirely the industry. That's also lots of different types of vocations, but 110% if you're choosing to be, if we're speaking just about acting as an actor alone, that's the business, which is just also one of the learning processes, I think, of knowing your business and getting to learn what you want your business to be as an actor. So
something you said, the getting to know what your business is, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, that's all about branding, right? It's like understanding who you are, what you bring to the table, correct? Do you think it's important for actors or artists alike to see themselves as a brand?
You have to be honest with yourself of what character you fit. Brand is also your personality too. And especially with commercial, that's mostly what I do. And so it's literally you're being yourself. And I feel like the center of it is like love and knowing yourself and being free. And I feel like that's like how I get most of my bookings, which is pretty simple.
Yeah.
You are definitely your brand, and you definitely have to cultivate a brand for yourself, which leads into social media. It leads into your brand, so that you can have and create a stable platform for yourself, and you aren't just relying on others creating content for you.
Brand is an interesting thing to me, and I love that it's the topic of the discussion. If I were sitting down with young Aqueela 9 years ago, and I was wanting to share with her what I know now, I think I would encourage her to not worry about her brand whatsoever, and I would encourage her to start to learn who she is, because that's going to be what actually becomes the brand that people really like buying into. I have not found success by trying to make a brand out of myself. I have only found fruit in learning who I am and letting that just kind of work itself out as I go. There's a marketing strategy to brand, 100%. There is no denying that. It is valuable, and as a business, it's needed.
How do you develop your brand? What are the key steps that you've taken personally to find that?
Yeah, I heard a casting director said this recently to me and to a group of people in something kind of like this. They were like, if you experience walking into a room and you're afraid, we can feel it. Like it's contagious and it's not nice. So from her mouth, she was like, do more inner work. Like pay attention to the negative emotions you're actually experiencing in the everyday stuff. Wow, I feel really stupid while I'm going through the breakdowns. Or wow, I'm terrified in my bones. just at the idea of walking into a casting room, or I feel completely like I'm so under-equipped to write my own stuff. So I'd say get honest with yourself, find a safe community that can help you be honest. People who help you stay isolated in the lies and your fear are not your friends.
Was there a moment that you remember where, okay, this is who I am in the industry, this is the niche I fit? How did you discover that? What was the...
That's a really great question, actually. So for me, I feel like when you go into the industry or you're called in any direction, whether it's writing, it's producing, it's directing, or it's acting, any segment that you're called into, I feel like you have to know who you are as a person and your goals and your morality, your ethics. You have to know what lines you will and won't cross. Present an opportunity, will you get nude on screen? Will you do these certain pressures? That's a very real aspect of life. And you have to know what you will not compromise and what you will be strong in.
Aqueela, so I've seen you handle a gun on film. I've seen you punch. I've seen you wear heels.
I've been studying at a studio in Toluca Lake called the AFA Studio. It stands for Actors for Actors. You're going to be so happy and laugh your way all the way to the bank with all the checks you'll get because you're going to be so confident about being your type. Like, wow, I didn't realize how standoffish I was to the perspectives that I had, the perceptions I had about the type that I was going in for all the time. Starting to very much just love that. And again, it's tools. It's like, wow, God, you gave me tools to be the type that people cast, that they see me as. Yeah. And there's more variety in that than I think sometimes we might realize. So I love the tough, the guns, the fighting. Oh gosh, pay me all day, every day to fight on camera, and I will do it.
That's awesome.
But I love the essence of starting to really embrace the other side of that.
So, all three of you are very active on Instagram, social media, and it seems like you're specific with what you post. Like, you think about what you post and the content. What are some tips and tricks?
So Instagram is a very funny thing. You can have a set schedule, as you know, and you can have like 200 comments one day. Like, you do a same algorithm. Say I post on Monday, I post on Wednesday, and I post on Friday. On Tuesday and Thursday, I do stories. That way I don't have to post every day. So it gives some people to look forward to something. Wow. But it can change. So it's all in how it works best for you. What you're passionate about, whatever that may be, monopolize on that. Share that with others, and they'll become engaged. I said the scariest thing for me about lives is that it's unpredictable. Anything can happen, right? Anything can happen in the background. But I realized that when you're real with people and people start tuning in and asking you questions, you gain a realness, and they'll want to become more engaged with your content because they see that you acknowledge them in their comments. They see that you're willing to connect with them, maybe when they don't have anyone to. So I encourage you to do that, and it will drive a lot of engagement in your page.
With Instagram, I think I try to be relevant, but also myself. So, I'm a very colorful person, so I like color and, just being myself and thinking about what I post, too. And, is this going to make, even, with modesty, too. I think that's important because a lot of times you see naked girls on Instagram, and it's like, I want to be different but still be relevant.
Yeah.
And still be fly.
Yeah.
And how you realize your algorithm is you can actually, there's a button on Instagram on any of your posts or anything that you do via social media, and it says your insights. Click on your insights, and the little three dots, you go to your insights, and it tells you what days you have the most activity and who your fans are that are engaging. How many people tuned in because of your hashtags, how many people tuned in because of your lives, and how many people tuned in because of the day of the week and the time that you posted. that will help you with your algorithm. I like to have color pops, whether that's bright pink or yellow. I've really found a love for yellow lately, so I'm really trying to run with that. So if you notice in each one of my pictures, you might find a speck of yellow somewhere, whether that's in my shoes or my purse, whatever that is. And I feel like you have to find that within yourself, so everybody has that thing. Or with my stories, I love to do like behind the scenes things, so it's like little clips of fighting, or because I do extreme martial arts and stunts for film.
For modeling stuff, it was so important because it so much is like they want to know do you have a following base? And a lot of times now it's kind of like your online portfolio. I kind of had to decide I'm either going to do this for work or I'm going to do it for just fun. Yeah. And I tried to marry both, realizing like how can I have fun with this also being wise when I need to about I'm not just posting anything. Yeah.
Do you think that we should even bother with Instagram? Do you think it's an essential part of it?
So I think that it is important to have that. It's your choice at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you know yourself and you know what you can and can't handle. And that's okay. We have to be real with ourselves.
It's good to use it, and it's practical to use it, and I do use it as like an online portfolio and also personal. And I just try to make sure everything looks professional and the colors flow nicely, which I think that's Instagram. But to not just post like you in a dark corner like with terrible lighting, I think that's like common sense, but not for everyone. So yeah, I don't know.
Have you been looking at my Instagram page? Is that why you said that?
And I feel like Instagram, and along with all social media, it's the basis of most people is me, mm-hmm. I, look what I'm doing, you know, and all this stuff. But when really it should be fixated on others and encouraging others to be the best version of themselves.
Do you have this apprehension that producers, agents, managers, whoever is going to give you your next job will see a connection to your faith and not give you the job because of that?
I'm pretty open about it if people ask me something, and I'll try to bring it up in an organic way. Yeah. Someone asks you, you should know what you believe, but also be in a respectful way.
My Instagram, it says, "Daughter of the King," and I get so many messages about that. And it's like, tell me about this. Like, what does it mean? And if they ask, I tell them, and they can notice through my Instagram, and that's how I choose to use my voice.
If we can be discerning how to be fully authentic in how God's made and called us, unapologetically and unafraid that it's not enough or that it's too little, I think everyone will experience the fruit of that. To be content in who you are, no more, no less, is to be the proud owner of everything that can't be bought. And the question that it begs to me is like, God, wait, will you help me know, as I get to know you, the natural fruit of that is that I'll get to know me. Which means that if I walk into I'm testing for a pilot, or if I'm saying something at someone that they won't know how to receive, I am not serving them, I'm serving myself.
What's some perspective you guys could share, some advice to a woman who is an artist in Hollywood or an entertainment professional in general?
Say if acting or the entertainment industry is something that you want to pursue, focus on your character, focus on being real, and that's where doors will start opening.
You have to have community, and I don't just mean like church community Bible study. That's actually not what I mean. I mean like friends who know you, who know you at your worst and your best, and who can call you up to your greatness.
I feel like women should build each other up and encourage each other. You will not succeed in a heart fully in life, in a heart of competition, of a competitive attitude. You have to go about it with a heart of you know what you stand for, and you're all there for the same passion. You're all there to share the same experience and give what you can. So I feel like you have to, exactly the discernment, you have to, know what to stand for and not be a complete follower, but also uplift each other.
The common thread I see from all three of you ladies is that you're very clear on who you are as women, what you bring to the table as a brand, as an artist, but the only reason why you know who you are as a woman and you know your brand is because you know your father. And it's that identity that dictates your decisions in business, your decisions as an artist, and I love it. I respect that. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming tonight. Round of applause for our guests.
Thank you all for having us.
Thank you, Leighton.
Yeah, this was a good night. It's a good night.